Alright, let's meet our sewing machine. Well, first off, I have long hair, so I tie it back because when I'm looking down, I don't want my hair falling in front of my face. I want to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn this on so you can get a little bit better view of that. This is a Singer Promise. You may have a different machine, different brand, different model. It doesn't matter. All these will be the same on all machines. First off, back here, as you see me getting up, is the thread spindles. These hold your thread for you when you're sewing. Mine used to have a little plastic thing that would sit on top of the thread, but it's gone, only I have no idea where. Machines have a hand wheel. When you turn the hand wheel, you see the needle going up and down. Machines have a bobbin threader, or a bobbin threader. This is to get your thread onto your bobbin. Now, machines have different ways of activating it. Mine's on top, so when I push it in, it's activated for the bobbin threader. So if I'm pushing the go, that's spinning. This is not moving. That is the same on all machines. When the bobbin threader is activated, the needle won't move. So if you notice that your needle's not moving, double check first your bobbin threader. I have it on top. Some machines have it here on the hand wheel. Some have a button you push in. Most have a button to push out. That kind of thing. Your machines will have, this is the tension disc for my bobbin threader to make sure my thread's tight. All machines have thread guides, like this right here. If I'm threading the machine, the thread comes through here. Then down around here through its tension spring, up here, into here, then down into the needle. Obviously, all machines have a needle. All machines have a presser foot. And it drops down, comes up. Presser feet are interchangeable. You can change them to like blind hem stitch presser feet, zipper presser feet, that kind of thing. All machines have these little lines right here. Some do, some don't have the measurements right here. This is your thread guide. This is to help you with finding your seam allowance. It's usually 1 inch, as you can see here. So let's say you have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You know that the second line right here is where the edge of your material should be. To make it easier, and I wouldn't use a piece this big, but I'm using it for demonstration purposes, you would line up a piece of painter's tape on that line, perfectly on that line. That helps you spot it easier. So you can see your tape and know not to go over that. Alright, that being said, all machines have a button to cause the feeder feet to go backwards. It goes forwards, it goes backwards. Some machines, not all, but it's starting to become more standard on machines, have a removable piece. Mine happens to store stuff here to make sewing hems on pant legs and on sleeves a lot easier. Hiding in here is where my bobbin goes. I'm going to turn that off since I'm messing around that. This is where my bobbin goes. It would go in here, I would thread it through here, stick it back in, and close the top. I'll show you about threading a bobbin in a little while. Let's see. So, right now, we are going to play with the machine without any thread in it. None. I want you to get used to controlling your machine, and I want to show you some examples of stuff. Now, it's just a plain piece of paper. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to put my needle down in it. the most common mistakes, which cause basically your bobbin thread to bird nest, is people are either shoving the material through, or in cases where they end up breaking or knocking the machine out of time, is when they're grabbing the material and pulling it through. Those feeder feet down there, do that. Don't do that to the machine. I'm going to show you this here. Sorry, I had to find the foot. Oh yeah, all machines either have a foot pedal, a hand switch, or a knee pedal. Mine happens to have a foot pedal. So, watch. I'm going to bring it up close. As you saw, I didn't do anything with this machine. I didn't touch it. It just went through all by itself. Let me get the needle up. And it's not straight, but it went through. The feeder feet will pull your material through. Again, don't push, don't pull. Now, to learn how to use your machine, how to guide the material so it's straight. Bring the presser foot here. First, we're going to use a straight line. Put the needle in. 2 fingers. You never want to do like this. You never want to sew like this. Because quite simply, that's a good way to get your fingers caught in and under the needle. This is the very dangerous part. This could be a dangerous part because it's spinning. These are the moving parts right here. So you want to handle it out here. You can even do it with 2 fingers with the paper. With material, you're probably going to have a little more fingers for some traction. As you see here, I'm just putting some direction, a little direction, trying to stay within the line. And there you go. By the way, you wanted to see back up? Here we go. Back, forward. That's how you lock your thread down when you start and when you finish your seam. So there we go. Everything's all lined out here. Looking at little dots. There's nothing that went off. Keep practicing with the straight line. It's thick enough. There's the file in the file section. Next, we'll be working with a square. Squares are interesting because of the corners. There's a trick to corners, which I'm going to show you. All right. There we go. There we go, in the corner. Let me get that out of the way. Here we go. Square. We're coming to the end of the square. Lift your needle up. Use your hand wheel to bring it forward. Okay. Then you leave the needle down, lift your presser foot up, turn your material, or in this case paper, and start again. In the corner. Lift, turn, start again. And you're going to do that with all 4 sides. With the pedal, you can control how fast or slow it goes. That's slow, faster, getting to the end. I'm trying to get this where the camera lines up, so that's why you see me keep leaning off to one side. Lift, go again. Maybe I can get one more stitch in there. Let me see. Yes. No. Okay. There we go. All right. You see the middle of the presser foot right here? Put this down. Where it has that slant. you got to keep it lined up with that. That way you know your material's in the right spot. One, two, and that's it for the square. Next up will be the circle. This will help you getting around, learning how to go around some pretty good curves, that kind of thing. Take it slow. And if it's sticking, you can help the wheel a little bit. There we go. Take it slow. If you want to practice getting your speed up, that's great. You can go faster as you get better. And here you can see exactly where it's going. It's doing it, whoops, looks like I went over a little bit there. That's okay. You're trying to get to the point where you don't want to go over more than 5 times. If you have 5 holes outside of the circle, or if you have 1 hole that's really out of the circle, then you want to keep practicing this until you can get it pretty much where you want it. Almost there. And we're there. Let's see how I did. As I'm looking at all the holes. So everything is within the lines. Didn't go out at all. Perfect. That's what you're shooting for. And last but not least, the hardest one, the spiral. Trying to get it lined up just right. There we go. There's where I want to be. Alright, very slow. See, I'm keeping my fingers well clear of that needle. Like I said, if you have to go a little slower than this, that's fine. And I know I'm going off the line a little bit, it looks like. This line was supposed to be a little thicker, so you can go over it with a Sharpie to make it a little bigger. And then work your way down. That's fine. Now I know I did go off there. If you're starting to get a little ahead of yourself, you're having problems. Yeah, I went over this quite a bit. But, there we go. Like I said, these lines weren't supposed to be this thin. One of my Renfields made this for me. So, I would strongly suggest going over this with a magic marker, because, you know, it's Sharpie, because you can see how thin it is here, and then it gets really fat. And that's not exactly what I wanted. But it's okay. And so I got it away from me, so I'm bringing it back over. There we go. And you can do this part too. You can just do it by hand if you want. You don't have to use the power if you don't feel you can do that type of circle. You can sew it by hand with the wheel. Yeah, and that's something you have to be careful. You see how that needle flexed? Don't do that. That's one way to guarantee the needle is going to break. And you keep doing it all the way to the end. When you get all of these patterns, the practice patterns really well, that's when you can move on to trying to sew cloth. Now, threading the machine. With this machine, the bobbin comes around through here. I want a little more thread than that. There we go. Through here, comes out through here, and then you put it on the far side of this little hook. Do that. I'm pulling the handle out so it'll lock in place. Alright? Leave this open. I'm going to turn this on so you can see the light of what I'm doing. Thread on a wheel. Through a guide. Bring this up. Through the tension, by the way, this is the tension knob. This is your size setting for your machine's stitches. Through up, through here, down. I'm going to drop the presser foot. Keep your feet way away from your activation pedal. Okay, I've got a little piece of stringy in there that's preventing it from going through. So I'm going to trim that. There we go. Missed. It's hard to do this when you got your head off to the side with these glasses. I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm going to have to... There we go. Got it through. So it's through. Lift. Bring it under the presser foot. Always have your thread under your presser foot when you're getting ready to sew. Now to bring the bobbin thread up, I just make it go once. Pull. See that thread right there? It's your bobbin thread. And you're good to go. Okay, now we're going to practice with a little piece of material. I've folded this under, actually ironed under the seam allowances there, just to show you what I want to do. I want this right here. Bring the point down here. You see these? Don't sew over these. Pull them out, put them in your tomato, go forward a few notches, stop. Press it down, go back. Stop, go forward. Get up to the needle, stop, put your needle back, or the pen. Put your needle back into the cloth so you can manipulate this. And we're going to go again. Stop. Now I can see my thing is getting a little wonky here. So I'm going to try and flatten it down. Started to slip up on me. Again, this was just a little scrap piece of material I'm playing with. So it's not exactly perfect. You can see the dirt and stuff on it. Like I said, it's just scrap. So it's not exactly even. When you get to the end of it, go backwards again, go forwards again. You have knotted both sides. That's all I'm going to do on this one. Next video, I am going to show you how to stitch rip correctly. So, I should have used a different colored thread so you can see this better. But it's pretty accurate if you're sewing on your your piece. Okay, let's say you've messed up the stitches. You need to pull them out and start again. What you can do, this pointy part is what gets under the thread for the first few. I got that one. Then I'll go for a few here. There's another one. You want to make sure you get just the thread, not the cloth. And as you can tell, I'm doing about every other one. Sometimes more. This is just to pick these out so you can... There we go. Let's see if we got enough room now. To get your... yes, perfect. Okay. A lot of people are going this way. That's not how you do it. That little red ball goes down there. That way you can just simply go through the stitches. Without worrying about cutting your material. Again, go slow. This is not something you can go fast on. Because that point down at the bottom could, or up here at the top, could catch the cloth and tear it. So you want to go slow. When you start getting resistance, pull out, open it up, and restart again. Just like that. See how fast that's going? Yes, you are going to have to pull the little pieces of thread out of your cloth before you sew. As you see, I'm starting to go through because I'm getting resistance, so I stopped, pulled out, got relined up. Well, looks like I need to go up here. This got real close to the edge, so it's getting persnickety. I'm going to pick out a few stitches up here. Open it back up again. There we go. That's all there is to it. And then you just pick your threads out, clean off your workspace, and you're ready to go.